A day on the focus. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to your daily dose of history with me, Anne. Today is January 10th, a day jam-packed with historical happenings, from ancient Roman drama to modern-day mysteries. Buckle up, history buffs. First up, way back in 49 BC, Julius Caesar famously crossed the Rubicon River. "The die is cast," he supposedly said. A pretty dramatic line for starting a civil war. Let's just say, his career counseling wasn't exactly on point. Fast forward a few centuries to 1776, and we find Thomas Paine's Common Sense hitting the shelves. This pamphlet, a fiery call for American independence, was apparently so persuasive, it practically pushed the colonies towards revolution. They'd have probably had a whole lot less trouble with their taxes if they'd just read Paine's pamphlet earlier, right? We also have a bunch of other interesting events. In 1863, London got its very first underground railway. Talk about a game changer for commuting. And in 1901, the first big Texas oil gusher blew, proving that some things are better left underground. Just kidding, Texas. Oil's good, I guess. Jumping to 1927, Fritz Lang's Metropolis premiered. A mind-blowing futuristic film, even by today's standards, it remains a cinematic masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you remedy this immediately. If you do see it, it might make you question the time-traveling abilities of some of today's politicians, but that's another podcast. And speaking of mind-blowing, 1946 saw Project Diana, where the U.S. Army bounced radio waves off the moon. It's hard to believe that this happened just a year after the end of World War II. That takes what I think is amazing resourcefulness and scientific talent. Then, in 1980, a very important letter was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Let's just say it's a letter that, was not entirely accurate, and contributed to the current opioid crisis. This brings me to today's birth dates. Let's not forget Hossein ibn Ali, the third Shia Imam, born on January 10, 626 AD. A significant figure in Islamic history. And in 1769, Michel Ney was born, a French general who was involved in multiple battles of the Napoleonic Wars. He apparently changed his mind more times than I did before my decision about today's coffee order. Mini-story break to change. It's a crazy coincidence how many events we've covered today center around change and transformation. Caesar's decision, the American Revolution, the invention of the underground and the oil boom, the birth of the UN, and the publication of the letter, which, in a twisted way, was a turning point in the field of medicine. Imagine if someone could travel through time, with the power of predicting the future. He could easily make a fortune with the knowledge of what was to happen, but what if he was also able to change the course of history? By interfering in the events, he would risk creating a paradox, but perhaps avoiding the catastrophes that have marked human history, even the little one like the oil boom. Our time traveler would have to take in mind that any little change can make a big change, and to keep balance, that's for sure. And that, listeners, is your daily dose of history. Until tomorrow, keep those history books open and your minds sharp.